Did you tell her that we're done? Look at her in the eyes and say, we're done. Because you think you're safe and alive. You're already dead. Everybody. Him, you're dead. This whole place, everything you see is gone. You're the one living in a fucking dream. Because I know what happens. It happens. Even though it's an absolutely over-the-top spectacular day here in the collapse of everything. It's like everyone's gone crazy. We don't go out anymore. We just stay inside and we say, please, just leave me alone. Let me have my steel-belted radio and TV and toaster. Just leave me alone. I won't cause any problems. Worldwide record heat, August 1st. I'm the Doom Wizard. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. Did you know? Global methane emissions are rising at the fastest rate in decades. The growth rate of methane is accelerating, which is worrisome. And you just got to hear a tree collapse on camera. So you heard it, I heard it, it happened. It was quite flat until about 20 years ago, and in the last few years we'd have this huge dump of methane. It's made the job of tackling anthropogenic warming all the more challenging. Even more challenging is not getting thousands of athletes and civilians to travel across the world and go to a game throwing sports ball in uncontrollably hot weather. Extreme weather sends insured losses 70% above historical norms. Antarctic temperatures soar 50 degrees above norm and long-lasting heat wave. An Alaskan community's slow and costly move to higher ground, having to migrate all over there. Heat wave in eastern Canada the day before yesterday in Quebec. Toronto officially records its rainiest month ever. Apocalyptic floods in Vermont destroy homes as 24 rescued by boat. Record heat is set to drive the cost of fruits and vegetables even higher. So there goes your nutrition. Portland sees its hottest July on record. Denver area wildfire turns deadly as park fire torches an area larger than LA. Death Valley just set the record for the warmest month ever recorded on planet Earth. The average temperature was 108.5 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.3 degrees higher set in July 2018. Hailstorm in Mexico, Caribbean heat wave. Current drought impossible without human-caused climate change. Again, I refer to the sports balls game in France, where if you couldn't gather, we are functionally extinct. If it weren't for the millions of bottles of water being passed out and cooling stations, then there would be heat strokes and possibly many bodies lying about. Prolonged heat wave and localized heavy rainstorms in the Tokyo area. Recent rains in North Korea flooded thousands of houses in the vast farmland. Has it been a 20-year anniversary of fracking? I don't know. Someone just put that in the comments. Then we had a 2008 financial crisis. State flood control and drought relief headquarters activated a level 5 emergency response in northeast China's province. On Wednesday, China's had its hottest month in observed history in July. Chinese state media recorded, even though they are now one of the highest emitters. Nearly 50 degrees Celsius in China is forecasted by your author. More than 2 weeks ago, we got another scorching heat wave. Decline of Indian vultures led to 500,000 human deaths. Are considered nature's sanitation services because of the important role they play in removing dead animals that contain bacteria and pathogens from our environment. Without them, disease can spread. Hint, hint, wink, wink. South India landslide toll rises 277. 10 dead as freak torrential rains flood Delhi, forcing schools. More floods in Lahore. Where is that? Somewhere far away. In addition to northern Pakistan, killing dozens. And Russia, super tornado raged in Russia. All the crazy things happened in the motherland of Russia. Dubai's brushes with 140 degrees. Feels like heat, shows dangers ahead. It's about 92 here in upstate New York, and people were complaining because of the humidity. Flash floods capsize boat in Ethiopia, leaving 12 dead. Kenyan villages flood. He puts more of the large fires break out in Rome near public TV station. Fires now near Albanian coastline. Tal evacuations near Greece's second largest island. The heat wave in the Olympics is impossible without the global heating, causing scorching temperatures across Western Europe. All trains are suspended on France's southeast axis after a tornado hit the eastern part of the country early on Wednesday morning. Tornadoes in France. That's happening. And you can just say, nobody knows. Even more alarming is when you recall this information to people publicly. For instance, I'll say something like, do you know the past 13 months have been the warmest on record? Dr. Catherine Hayhoe, are you watching? And their lack of any sort of response, the recipient I usually tell that to either laughs, scoffs, or acts like I'm speaking another fucking language. What happened to us? Okay, you tell me. We're gone. Jack Morgan, we're gone. We don't even talk to each other. In 10 years, it's going to be so fucking unbearable, dude. It's going to be so uncomfortable. You see how hot it's gotten in the past few years? Everybody notices it. Here in New York, people are telling me the winters have gotten milder, and it really only starts to freeze up around January, February. I mean, there are seasons here, mind you. I moved from places where there were no seasons. It's either summer or winter, and like 2 weeks of spring and 2 weeks of fall, particularly in Texas, and even in Ohio. But still, people notice it, they feel it, and anyone who denies it is just a clueless effing moron. You know, but why can celebrities have children but regular people can't? Because they have money, and they think they're going to survive it somehow. Breeders will do what breeders do. Okay? Another wonderful update with you guys. Thanks for tagging along. Just keep it on the down low. Don't tell anybody. This is our last stable decade on Earth, okay? Let them experience that, because we couldn't talk to each other. We couldn't even fucking pronounce the words global warming to each other without sounding the alarm for political discourse. And what a sham election. And the next one doesn't even exist. Again, I like to go on tangents at the end of my report. I met this young man today. I told my other friend about. He signed a 29-year mortgage. His monthly tax statement is like $600 on top of his monthly mortgage payment, on top of interest, on top of insurance. Okay, stacking, you see it. He's basically paying for 3 houses at his early 20s, okay, and living in one. And he won't even pay it off or be able to build equity because it'll be decimated. You know, there's this climate scientist. She's not a climate scientist. She's a scientist. She likes to report American resilience. She reports on the temperature forecasts for climate forecasts for different areas in America. It's like she's somehow, there's no bridge between intelligence and wisdom or connecting the dots. Surely she sees this, that no one is protected anywhere in the West as much as we think we are. We have an illusion that we have things on the shelves, but where does all this stuff come from? From globalization, from producing stuff elsewhere. So if these other places shut down, the cost of goods skyrocket. People can't work. We're interdependent on each other. So just because it may be somewhat bearable in, I don't know, Memphis, San Francisco, when they run out of water in the West Coast, because we didn't build enough desalination plants, because Gavin Newsom said, F him, said that California will be 23% less water by 2050. How do you think we cope when we're all interdependent on each other? Like, look at the big picture. And yet she's focusing on like regional, localized events or forecasts, but not taking into account how do these people fucking survive in these areas. You get what I'm saying? Do I need to go on about that? Like I'm talking to a 12-year-old. Surely they would know better. Okay, worldwide record heat, August 1st. Use the donation, super thanks, and PayPal. Stay cool. A few more weeks of summer, then fall. I'll see you around. See ya.